Hello everyone and welcome back. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about eating disorders and how do we take care of somebody who has an eating disorder. So we get calls pretty regularly from families who have a loved one who has an eating disorder. And this is something that has been diagnosed by a clinician. It is something that has been going on for years and years and years. And by the time the family calls us, they've sort of run out of options. They've tried to get their loved one into treatment. Perhaps they've even been in treatment, but nothing seems to have worked. Now, typically when we get this kind of call, the patient is typically a female. The age range is anything from say 20 to 40. Somebody who's been dealing with this for a long time. We don't see a lot of calls about males. I'm not saying it can't happen, but generally it's about a woman, a female, a young lady in the family, however you want to classify it, whatever your lingo is. But that's what we're seeing. And the family calls us and says, look, we can't get her to go to treatment. She's been a couple of times, nothing seems to work. What do we do? How do you handle this? So there's two components to dealing with this. Number one, we have to give the family the authority, the legal authority to put their loved one into treatment and keep them there long enough. Because look, you could do treatment over and over and over and over again. And if it's number one, not the right facility, and number two, they don't stay long enough, and perhaps even three, they don't follow some kind of aftercare program, then just the insanity of the situation is going to continue. So we got to get the parents, if it's the parents, the authority to make the decision to put their loved one into treatment. And that authority typically comes from filing for guardianship, right? The guardianship is a process that we go through with the courts, and it would give the guardian or guardians, depending if it's just one person or two, the authority to make their loved one go to treatment. In other words, remove the authority of the loved one, remove their authority to make decisions for themselves because they clearly cannot make the right decision, and give it to somebody else so they can put them into treatment and keep them there long enough. Number two, obviously, we need to find the right facility because this is a very specialized sort of area of the behavioral health space. Right, we don't. The sort of number of facilities that that can even take this kind of case is sort of very narrow, and so obviously finding the right place is very, very important because if you are in the wrong facility, they cannot treat the eating disorder. I mean, there's just going to be again the insanity of the situation is going to continue. Now, if a family comes to us and says, "Look, we have this facility. This is the one we want to work with." Great. If you don't have a facility that you want to work with or you're comfortable with, we can certainly help you with that. Not a problem. You can work with one of our clinicians that we routinely work with to help find the place. We have a couple of names we can probably give you. But the bottom line is that we have to find the right facility. And really, in part and parcel, this is if the person is not taking medications, perhaps somebody, a clinician has said they need to take medications and they're not taking them. Again, the making sure they take their medications is an important component of filing for the guardianship process. And it's one of the 12 rights we can take away when we file for guardianship. But yes, in a nutshell, we can certainly help you if you have a loved one with an eating disorder. But we're talking about guardianship, getting your loved one into the right treatment facility and keeping them there long enough so they can finally start to experience some recovery. And obviously, if we can keep them in recovery for a long enough period of time, then yeah, I mean, we get great results. But as I tell every family, I do not have a magic wand. I promise you, if I did, I would wave it. And look, I have 5 nieces. I have 2 grandnieces. It's all women in my family. And when we get a call from a family who has somebody in the family who is dealing with this, it's heartbreaking. It really personally resonates with me. But look, every family is in crisis when they call us, but I get it. But what we have is hope, okay? And this is the beginning of the journey of recovery for your loved one and the beginning of the journey for recovery for you, the family, because I know that you've been suffering for a long time. I do. So with that said, yes, we can help you with an eating disorder and we'd love to do so. So with that said, if you like the video, please give me a thumbs up. and subscribe to the channel if you're watching on one of these social media platforms where you can subscribe. So thank you for that. Take care. Bye-bye.